Good morning.
Hi, Don.
Hey,
How are
Dan.
you all doing? I hope you all having a great day.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's May 1st.
It is indeed. I was not even aware of it until just a minute ago. I'm like, what day is this? Seriously? Man, 2021 is scooting right on by, isn't it?
Oh,
half
yeah.
We're going to wake up. Tomorrow it'll be June. All right, let's get in here. Media and albums, also known as albums. We got 44 pictures to look at, just a couple more than we had last month or last week. And here we go. Let's get into this and sharing screens. Before we start, is there any questions? Are there any questions from anyone about this crazy madness we're doing here? All right. Well, let's get into it then. First up is Rick.
Hey, good morning, Don.
Good morning, Rick. How you doing?
Quite well, thank you.
All right. Really nicely done, Rick. Cool.
Thank
What's I like this texture kind of thing that's floating out here.
Yeah, I gotta give Giannis credit for that. That's Giannis's special formula: flour, water, and acrylic paint.
All right. And did you clean this up with any kind of frequency separation right in here at all?
No, that part came out pretty clean. I did have to work some of the background and some of the little splashes that I didn't like, little droplets.
Mm-hmm.
So I cleaned up a fair amount of it, but right on the main splash there, that was pretty clean actually.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate your shadow here, and then matching that shadow over here gives it a real sense of where the light's coming from.
Well, the way it was shot, planning for the shot, the product was shot first, the clean product, the lighting from both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I did the drops, the lighting was the same way, hoping that all my shadows and such would match up, right?
They did beautifully. Great shot.
So there's a lot to choose from, really, but I picked
Simple.
the splash that I thought was best.
Yeah, it's a great splash. It's a fine splash, and it's just one, right? There's not a multiple here.
No, that's just a single.
Yeah.
Single splash and then cleaned up. I did have to help the cleanup. I took a shot of the mixture, the flour, water, paint before the drops, right? So that I had it just kind of a clean, relatively clean view of the stuff. And then when I made the drop, I kind of blended the two. So rather than having to use a clone stamp or whatnot, it was masking, and I could clean out a lot of drops that way.
Yeah, that's a super well done shot, man. Super well done.
Not too messy.
No.
But again, I thank Giannis for his, he brought it up to our group, about 2 sessions ago, and I think Josh used it as well last week, and it works. What was interesting is you can get kind of different textures depending on your mixture of water to flour, right?
Yeah, and depending whether you use a mixer or
Good point. Yeah, I ended up using a hand mixer just to make sure, because that flour will get lumpy, right?
yeah.
And, so you got to use
has those little
mixer.
juicer mixers, the little teeny blade, and it just really spins.
That's exactly what I used on those little handheld mixers with that high spinning blade, and that worked really well.
Awesome. Good job, Rick. Good job, sir. Rainy. Wow, is Rainy here? Rainy. Oh, no, Rainy. You know what I like about it? It looks like not only is it splashing, it also looks like it's in motion to me. All these splashes going this way. It's buried into here. Rainey, nice shot. I would tell you that because this is your background and you have a little bit of light, looks like, I don't know if you did it in Photoshop or how you did it. We may see in the next image. But I recommend you go in and you take your splash, okay, and then you got to get some of these tendrils, and you just lighten it up a little bit, bring it up a little bit brighter, so the splash doesn't blend with the background. It's up, it's translucent. We should have some light coming through it, okay? Just pick that up, and it'll make a big difference, especially when we get these little highlights coming in here. Be a little bit brighter here. Very cool. Good job, Rainey. This is tough stuff to do. You guys all did a great job. Oh, okay. Looks like she did the same type of thing. We had a photographer in the first splash class that I did was doing chocolate, and he used chocolate covered enamel paint. You talk about having to be careful. That stuff was a mess. I'd rather use the Giannis's idea here. We've got the strawberry in here. Carl Moore.
How's it going?
Good, Carl. Wow, is this one splash or we got a couple? I see.
It's a composite of 2 splashes.
2 splashes over here.
I like the little drops from the other splash I did where the strawberry is going in a little bit too much.
The little bombs here.
Yeah, I like those. So I wanted those in the picture.
Yeah,
So
very nice.
To get that.
Yeah. And again, I would probably say just to give it a little depth, I would take this top one.
Yeah.
It could be whiter. If we put you put your info palette down on this thing here,
Okay.
I'll bet you could get it a dozen points whiter. I would do that so that we really see that separation. Okay.
Okay.
But if it looks like it's glowing, that's too much. That'll be too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Nice.
using the cashew milk again. What I did was I had it in the aquarium because I just wanted to keep it. I wanted to drink it afterwards, basically. So I was like really careful not to spill any outside of the container.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Strawberry looks great.
before this I did cookies, and they were much harder. I ended up kind of giving up on the cookies because the splash was a little bit too big, and they were also making the splash would be like spiky kind of looking, and I wanted
Okay.
the little kind of drops where you see them here where they're rounded off at the edge.
Okay. Well, if you have any extra cookies, I'll get you my address. And
Yeah,
we
that was
have
the other hard part. They're one shot. Like a strawberry, I was dropping it in over and over again. I just wash it off and drop it in again. With the cookie, I drop it in once and it would be pretty much done.
you just have to eat it at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was doing actually.
Pretty much, yeah. You can do the shot and gain 5 pounds at the same time. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you're doing this outside. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is the sun coming from I can see the sun's coming at an angle.
Yeah,
here,
it was really
coming
really
through.
hard to keep that in place. It was just blowing all over the place with the wind. It was a really windy day too, so that just made it so much harder.
Yeah. Did you get the little?
I was actually using this for my camera. I had my camera on that, and it was still too heavy for it. So I
Yeah.
just used it after that just to hold the thing in place.
Yeah. The clamps that come with the C clamp. Did you get yours when you bought your C stand?
I got I wasn't using a clamp, I was using an adapter for the camera,
Okay.
but it was just too heavy because this, for some reason, I can't move back. Like if I could counterbalance it, it would have worked, but it didn't, the arm didn't go back at all.
Yeah. This is their long C stand arm. Mine only comes out to here. I didn't.
Yeah, I
the
should get a
long one
different
for
arm,
that
I guess.
same reason. You can't put much weight on it, even though it's a C stand. It's still, the leverage of that distance is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, be careful with it. It's a great stand, but just be careful with it. It's actually not designed. If you ever see these in use, it's not designed to have the stand come up and have the thing come straight across like this. It's really designed for this to be up here.
Yeah, I was thinking I could use it for more than one use, and I realized I really couldn't do that.
All right, very good, man. So
All right, thanks.
yeah. Is this you again? No, this is how
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that was just to show the lighting behind the. I had it behind there because you couldn't see it in the other picture.
Yeah, you got two lights behind the.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very
Thanks.
cool. Was Jorge here? Jorge?
I'm here.
So this is obviously behind the scenes for your shot, but this next one's not your shot, right?
No, because I re-uploaded it. I think it's further down. Yeah, there.
That looks
This one was interesting. Had the idea was like the speaker breaking through still water, but I don't think it really worked out. But I did learn that I can take the splash out of the simulation and make it into an object, and now I can edit it, so I can shape it how I want.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I learned that I'm really bad at shaping, so I left it back in the original form for now.
Because your background is a gradient, it doesn't look like you dropped it in the water to me. It looks like the water came up to meet it.
Well, actually, did, because
Sliding in
that
the-
was the other thing. When I was dropping it, and it was making, like, I put a picture before, this like massive, they look like nuclear explosions, the way it was doing the simulation.
Uh-huh.
And it just looked really out of place. So I tried to fudge it by actually shooting the virtual water up, and then the plan was to kind of shape it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not that good at shaping it. That's something I got to practice.
You'll get good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And the speaker took a few days to make.
versus how you rendered it.
Yeah.
Very cool. This doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. But basically what you do is in these programs, you have a light source and you can move the light source and it changes how it just basically it's like moving a light in the studio.
Yeah.
And I think where Jorge is going to do really well is understanding how that light works in the studio and then bringing that to your CGI is going to be a big plus for you.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, good job. Jason here? Oh, Jason?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. This looks like a little shallow bit of water.
Yeah, it was like a lid for a box.
Got it.
was very white, and I could float maybe about an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch of water in there.
And that gets that very controlled splash.
Yeah, and things bounce around a bit, but yeah.
I like it. Your label's not dead center, but it's really close, and I think it's close enough for this shot to work. The label. If you want to put this in a portfolio, I think you've got the shot. It's really pretty. Just take the drops off of the label.
Okay.
Okay. And Adland drops never get on the label. They're protected. They're,
Right.
golden space there. Yeah. But all this looks really good. Now, how many splashes is this?
This is just one, but like, as I think everybody has said before, there were 400 that led up to this
Sure.
really good one.
Sure. And when you get a good one, you know it. You know it even before you looked at the back of the camera. You see that flash go off and it's like burns into your brain. You say, okay, I got that. How are you dropping it and catching it? Is someone else dropping it for you or?
No, I'm kind of the one-man band. I'm shooting on sort of like a kind of a continuous mode. So I get 2 or 3 shots each time.
Okay.
And I'm dropping with one hand and holding the button with the other hand. And this is shot at like pretty wide. I think it was 28 mils, so everything's pretty close.
Mhm.
But my splashes are pretty small, so I wasn't getting too wet.
If you were doing this for a client, what you would do, and if you wanted to really go ahead and make it perfect, I'd cut this label out,
Mhm.
move it to a new layer with me, new layer, use content aware fill to fill underneath it over here, and then move the label so it's dead center.
Right. Yeah, I think with the dropping, because it's so random,
Yeah.
you love the splash of one, and then but the label's off to one side. I put a couple in my comments there of other splashes I liked, but just
There's, there's two levels to it. If you're doing this for a local like boutique store, you're gonna fight with this label. Okay. If you are doing it for the ad agency, they'd give you a bottle without the label.
right.
And then you would take the label and actually put it on or call somebody who does that work and have it done.
Right.
This is really good work.
Thank you.
Wow. I can't, it's hard to do this by yourself. It's hard to do this with someone else. It's really hard to do it by yourself. Nicely done, Jason.
Thanks.
How long did this take you?
Actually, I was so inspired after last Saturday's class. I shot it on Sunday, and it was maybe a couple of hours, but then I had the whole week. So since then, I've done strawberries and cream. I've done all sorts of other splashes without labels.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Well, you took on the challenge of the label. I'm glad you did it. Glad you did it. Judy.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So these are strawberries splashing into the water?
Yes, actually, it's only one. It just looks like more.
Oh, okay. Real small little martini glass, I guess that would be, right?
Yes,
And how many splashes did you work into this?
there's two. The main splash or the first splash is the glass, the clean table, the strawberry, and then that lasso that kind of goes from the left up to the left-hand corner and then comes back down to the right side of the rim.
Right.
And those splashes above. And then the second splash is where it's coming down from the right-hand side, of the rim behind the glass and then extending over to the lower left-hand side.
And that's how and that's a great way. That's how you keep your surface clean. Just shoot it before you start getting it wet.
Yeah, that was the first splash. I got it before it got wet.
Oh, okay.
And then I just blended the two images.
Yep. It's always good to get a clean set shot because, you could, once you
I had one just in case, but I managed to get a splash without before it got wet.
great. I really like it. There's only one little thing. Only one little thing. Don't know where your horizon is because your horizon line. I would have put it here, Judy.
Lower. Okay. I wondered
we can see that real pretty line of that glass coming down and we cut it.
Yeah. And I broke it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wondered about that. I have a question though.
Yeah.
I did this earlier in the week and like Jason, I had the rest of the week and I did a bunch of different splashes and I used Giannis's, recipe.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I'm having, not that you could do anything about it. I know it's just going to be practice. The nail polish that I was using, just the exposure on it, it's sitting down in the cavity of the splash. Exposure on it isn't any good. So I took another shot to replace that bottle. And I know I'm having trouble with cutting it out and making it look like it's actually in the cavity. I don't know if you have any tips on that. And my other question would be, you mentioned frequency separation, and I don't know what that is.
Here, I'll put it right here in the video here. Go to YouTube. This is really nice. Frequency separation is a really nice way to clean up skin. People use it to clean up skin. I don't because I think it makes skin too perfect. and I'm
Uh-huh.
not really interested in having it be too perfect. So let's go here. Frequency, separation, products, action. All right. This gentleman right here,
Yeah.
3 uncommon ways to clean in Photoshop.
Okay.
Extremely useful ways to clean your photos in.
I just said that. Thank you, sir. I'm
Yeah.
gonna move him down and move it down into the. Okay, where is the darn thing? Where's the chat? Okay. Chat. Here we go. Chat, and I'll put the link here. There we go. What he does is the same frequency separation that we do on people's faces, or that people do on faces. He changes it up a little bit. The difficult thing about frequency separation isn't doing it, it's remembering the order of making the layers. You got to make this layer and an inverted layer and all this stuff, right? So he
Okay.
made an action that makes it for you. So boom, you run the action and then do your thing. So that's what I do. I can't remember half the time which comes first and which layer has to be where. So that's a great way to do it. So there's the link. Go and watch it and you'll see what it does.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You bet. Good job. Good job on this shot. Very nice.
Thank you.
Is this light going off over here?
Yeah, actually it is. I wish it was a little closer. I need to get another one of those TV trays so I can get it in closer. But
Yeah, you can get
yeah.
if you go to Amazon, you can get 2 stands for I think $20.
Uh-huh.
If you're Prime, that's 2 stands for $20, you know, free shipping.
Okay. Yeah, I am Prime.
Cheaper than TV trays.
Well, I tend to shop at Goodwill and thrift stores.
Go on. Do you have Craigslist or the for whatever it is, Facebook shopping thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you'll find all kinds of stands on there all the time.
Okay.
And remember, musical instrument stands will work well too.
Oh, yeah.
Cymbal stands for a drummer, you know, and you can pick those up pretty cheap too. Really pretty cheap.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Dean. Wow. How are we getting the splash here, Dean? Dean. No Dean? All right, well, cool image, Dean. We got a splash of the nail gel. We got a splash of what it's going into. That's pretty complex work. Nicely done. Dean, I wish it was closer so we could see it more. A lot of space around. Oh, I think it's a horizontal. That's why all the black is. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking it was a vertical, but it's a horizontal. Good. Nice. And Giannis has perfected his splash technique. Look at that.
Hello, Don.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. That looks, that's really lovely.
Thank you.
Tell us about, I love the purple against the gray. It looks great. You've got your gold lettering, reads really well. All the way through from left to right. Very cool. The lighting down the side is nice, traditional. Nothing wrong with that. Nice and clean. Your splash is really pretty. So tell us what you did.
Actually, what I did here was when we ended up the first class and we had a month off, I had for a client shooting KICKSTART bottles, and I had that bottle already shot. When I did the splash last week with a purple or red one, magenta, whatever color that is, I thought, why don't I convert it to black and make a beautiful contrast with purple and black.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I cut off the bottle from the
Hey, welcome to
actual
Photo.
picture
What's the secret to a perfect power ballad? It may
and blended in. This is two composite image and blended into the splashed one. In the next, in the BTS, I explained that what I actually did. Yeah, that's the actual shot from the bottle and the splash. What I really looked for the splash was I didn't want to have my flashes reflecting on the surface of a paint surface. I wanted a clean surface so that it was just a splash lit up. I thought the bottle that has those rim lights from left side would blend it very nicely with the splashes.
Yeah, you've got light going from both sides. We've got highlights on both sides of your splashes, so it really makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I did that.
Yeah, when you're combining images, folks, first thing you have to do is make sure your lighting on what you're blending is the same light. You can't blend a left lit subject with a right lit background.
Yeah, that's actually the secret.
Yeah. Very good. Nicely done, Giannis. Nice shot. Solid.
Thank you.
Solid. Are you adding your splash shots to your portfolio?
Yes, I'm actually out of them. Yeah.
Good.
I have some actually.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Don.
Yep. And Joe.
Hey, Don.
Hi. Boy, that looks like it's just deep. Looks like a really deep splash. So you're gonna have to tell us how you did this.
It's an aluminum pan. I didn't use the black pan. I used the aluminum pan in the back. It's probably about, I don't know, 2 inches of the flour mixture.
So
thanks, Giannis.
This is a pan.
Yep.
And you put
just drop straight down.
Drop something in it and had it splash all out on all sides.
No, I just dropped the actual product over and over again, and then wiped it off and dropped it again.
Okay. Well, you got a good one, didn't you?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of good ones. Some of them came before I colored the mixture. So I was just practicing with just the mixture. It was kind of a brownish color.
I think I think I would do the same thing I said earlier. Just lighten this up just ever so slightly.
Okay.
And I let me see if I can. I'm gonna put this in Photoshop real quick so that when I say really lightly, you guys all know what I'm talking about here. Okay, so we got it in Photoshop.
Got to share the screen.
Am I not sure? I thought I did.
Not Photoshop. I'm still looking at the picture.
It didn't take. There we go.
There you go.
So the way I would do it, you could cut this out. Obviously, you could, but I would probably just go way subtler with the Option key down, new layer, overlay, fill the overlay with neutral color, grab the white here with a brush, nice soft brush. That's a nice soft brush. Make sure your opacity up here is at 10%. Maybe I'll actually just go about 8% on this. Make the brush a little bit smaller. Okay, thank you for staying here. Go away now.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Thank you. All right. Now I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do 1, 2, and done. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the difference. Yep. Just gets that splash to pop a little bit more. Very cool.
Thanks.
Whenever the splash and the background are this, I mean, we got the same tones. We want to pull that tone up or down, whichever way you want to go, up or down, so that it reads just a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, solid. Good job, Joe.
Thanks.
And there's your setup.
Except they use the aluminum pan in the back.
Wow. Okay.
There's one light on top too. There was a double scrim on top.
Yep. Well, it's a long ways from Joe Cosentino, 2019.
Yeah, it's 6 lights all around.
Yeah, there would be like soft boxes here and stuff over there. And nicely done, Joe. Good job.
Thanks.
Yep. Mark Shaw.
Hi, Don.
You're a mess, Mark. You're just a sloppy drunk, buddy. Look at that. Nice. That's really, you got the drops looking great. They're all popped up in there. Did you drop ice or did you drop the lemon?
I dropped the lemon.
Wow. Right to the bottom.
Yeah, I tried that I did all this on Wednesday or Thursday, and I tried to get, first of all, I didn't like the shots I was getting during the day, so I went back down at night, and for some reason, everything just clicked.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
It looks this looks really nice in here. What's really nice is you're shooting clear glass on black. Okay. So and you're shooting a clear liquid. If we didn't have all the splash and the lemon and the highlight in here, it would be like a black hole, right?
Yeah.
You've got everything working into your advantage of here. So you got the lemon fills up a good half of the space. The reflection of the lemon fills up the other half of the space. We got a highlight over here. We only got a little bit of dark showing in through there. That's pretty cool through here. You can do the same thing that we just did on the rim of the glass here to lighten it up just ever so slightly,
Yeah.
just so that we see the glass. And the same thing with this spray of water. If this is, if these are linear, oh no, there it is. There's the break right there. So this is sort of water in there. Do that a
Yeah.
little bit as well. But I mean, so it's got to be almost imperceptible, This works really, really well.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And clear. Boom. Very nice. Nicely done. There's your set. Cool.
I like dark field lighting.
Yeah. You got this card right up next to the edge. Are you getting light on that side?
Not really, no. No, I delivered. What I did is I got a big roll of Translum and I just taped that taped that card to it.
I think most of the lighting of your shots really coming through the top here.
Yeah, because what I can do is I can roll it up or down to adjust that as I want.
Yep. And guys, at Translum, it's not expensive when you think that you buy one roll of Translum, you're going to have enough Translum for a decade. I mean, you just take care of it. It's kind of plastic, right? You guys have touched it. It's got a plastic feel. I mean, you're not going to ruin it. But unless you're going to make a specific softbox out of it or something, a roll of Translum will last a long, long time. And if you want to know which I would get the Mama Bear. Get the medium. The thin is very thin. It's a specialty unit, and the thick is very thick. It's a specialty as well. But the middle grade will definitely do a great job. Just like Mama Bear's bed. There we go. One of the splash and one of the grapes. All right, EJ.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. So, what did you splash to get the splash? What was it you were dropping?
It was a little squirt bottle with basically, and was halfway filled with water. It was about the same length as the grapes. So I was hoping I could kind of cover the bottle up with the grapes later on.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a big splash, and it was kind of bigger than I planned. But I tried to make the best of it.
Well, I think you did really well. Now your grapes are looks to me like your grapes are lit from upper left here.
Right? Yes, they are. Same lighting as I used in the water.
Yep, and your light in the water is coming from the left as well. That looks really, really great. I think to give it a little depth, you could add a little bit of a shadow under here. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe, you know.
I'm not sure how to do that just yet.
Sounds like I'm dying from a cough. I'll just explain. They changed my medication on me, and the medication is causing me to cough. So hopefully mid-May, I'll be switching back to the stuff they gave me that didn't make me cough. And I'm not sure why they changed it, but they did. So anyway, I'll show you how to do it at the end. Do not let me sign off, PJ.
Okay.
All right, without me showing you. Very good. Solid, folks. And that way, if you want to know how to do it, all you have to do is go back to the video on YouTube, run it to the end, and you'll have the technique. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Now, Einstein in the box. Here, this is shooting the grapes, and this is the water that you're splashing into.
Yeah, I used the black card there because I wanted just an image of the water while it was still, thinking that would help me when I composited.
Yeah.
But I was getting the reflection of all the stuff in it, so I used the black card
Okay.
to cover that up. But I ended up not using that anyway. But I just forgot to take the card off.
Got it. That's solid. That's pretty solid. Solid shot.
Thank you.
Solid shot. Catherine Kemple, I think we've got your behind the scenes. Oh, look at that, Catherine.
How about that?
That's
That's
pretty cool.
Our very first iris bloomed yesterday, and I was going to shoot it anyway. So I thought I'd been messing with cream and stuff all week and wasn't satisfied with it. So I thought I'm going to shoot the iris anyway. So I'm going to make it splash.
Now, where are you located?
Ohio.
Ohio. So when you say shoot it, you're talking about photography. See, in Arizona, when we say shoot it, we're talking 9mm, baby.
Yeah, no, we're talking
this
cameras.
Is really pretty. You've got to make a print of this. This would be a great print. You know, just even, and I don't want to step on toes. I would make it a 5x7 and put it in an 11x14 frame. That's what I would.
Okay.
Nice, great, big mat around it, and just let it float in the middle. It's really, really pretty.
Well, thank you.
Whatever that is, gotta go. Bye-bye.
I thought it was a thumbprint on my frame, but on my screen, but I'll get rid of it.
Unless we have thumbprints on our same screen, the same screen. I think it's.
No, it was late last night.
Really love the way the light plays with the flower. The flower's not overly lit. The splash is everywhere. It's very, very sharp. This would make a lovely print, Catherine. Nicely done.
Thank you.
So let's go. Your behind the scenes was first.
It's all natural light on the flower.
So you did the flower by itself.
Yeah.
And then you did the splash. So what is actually causing the splash?
Well, what I should have used is a fake ice cube, but I used a Baby Bell cheese, which was red, which meant I had to use several splashes. So it took a little, I had to convert the splashes to black and white.
Yep.
And clone some out. So
yeah, that's what
I've learned a lot.
There you go. Number one, if you're going to use cheese, make sure it's in a white container.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
It made a nice splash.
It's a really nice shot. It's very artistically done, and that's why I kind of instantly gravitated towards making a print of it. Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Ooh, hot sauce.
Don.
Hey, is that Jello, David? We dropping in Jello, or what's going on here?
No, it's water with a little bit of gelatin in it, or whatever you call that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one shot. It took a few tries to get it. I fussed with another thing all week long that failed. Arnold helped me a lot, kind of think my way through that. I'll reshoot that other shot, but I was just running desperate last night. I had this thought and went out and did it, and there it is.
Now, did you shoot the label so we get a clean label here? Or
No, I didn't.
Nice.
You know, I hit a point of frustration where I wasn't thinking clear anymore. Sorry about that. But yeah, I can go shoot the label and pop that baby on there for sure.
I totally get that. I totally get to the, you get to the point where you're like, you can't even remember what you're doing. Yeah. We all get there. Nice. This is great. You got a light coming from behind, right?
No, below.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Below.
Yeah.
Behind the subject coming back up.
But yeah, it is behind, I guess. But yeah, below, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's. What did you do in Photoshop?
Actually, I didn't use Photoshop. I used Capture One. There were some areas here that were kind of, well, I'm pointing to the screen. I'm sure you can see that.
Yeah, just move your sleeve over a little bit. We got it.
Yeah. And
okay.
so there were some gray areas that I just painted red with a brush in Capture One. And then I did some clone stamping of a few of the splashes just to kind of blend them around a little bit.
I think it's really good. I would do a sloppy cutout of this guy and get more red in the background. Because see how deep red this sriracha, well, we all know what sriracha sauce is, that kind of deep. We got too much pink.
Okay.
We got too much pink. We got to get this down to it like lava,
I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that if you're good with Photoshop. You can do it. If you can probably do it in Capture One. But I personally would go into Photoshop only because I've used Photoshop since version 2.1. So
I just started using it. It frustrates the hell out of me. It's like using a freight train to pull a box of balloons. It's just, there's so much around it and you just want to do one or two things.
Just keep in mind, Photoshop does 3 things and 3 things only. Number 1, it lets you isolate something. Number 2, it lets you modify whatever you've isolated. And number 3, it lets you put it in an hierarchical layer where you can vary transparency of it.
Yeah.
When you think of what Photoshop does, that's really all it does. Isolate, modify, and stick it in where you want it to be, blending however you want it to do. When you think of it and you break it down, when you're working with Photoshop, you think, okay, I want to do. First of all, what are you going to do? You're going to modify it. Okay, if you're going to modify it and you don't isolate what you don't want modified, then you modify globally, right?
Right.
So, but if you pull something up, you can modify either that item or modify the thing behind it. And so if you just think Photoshop that way, just think which of those things are you going to do, you'll handle it.
That helps a lot. I didn't have any sort of mental strategy for it. It was just a bunch of sliders and buttons.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's me in Premiere.
Yeah.
Here, if you had a screenshot of me in Premiere, it'd be like this. It's like, anyway. Go to Flern up on YouTube. Flern. Flern has a 30-day Photoshop course free.
Writing that down. Okay.
And Aaron is a great teacher, and you will really understand Photoshop after that free class. Believe me.
That course is great.
It's really,
okay.
It's really good. All right, and after that, it's batter practice. So they're good. All right. You're using a Pluto trigger. Smart.
Yeah, I bought it. I have to justify it somehow.
There you go. If I could just justify a Ferrari now to my wife.
And then I used string and I created sort of a marionette so I could just dunk the bottle just up and down. That way I could control so it didn't roll and didn't change its aspect a lot.
And then, or over splash it, really kind of control it. Very nice, nicely done. All the way through, man.
Thank you.
Nicely thought out and nicely presented. Kevin's dropped a strawberry into the yogurt here, but I have a feeling the strawberry didn't make that big a hole in the yogurt. Kevin, am I correct? Yeah, your audio's shot, buddy. I know you're. Kevin's in the car right now with his iPad. Yeah, your audio's not working. Your audio's not working. It's a nicely done shot. Brighten up the white bowl against that pink. Just brighten it up a little bit. Bring it up a little bit, and it'll pop off the background. Really nice. Now, concentrate on driving. Crazy guy. All right, Carla Cordero.
Hi, Don.
Hi, what a great splash.
Thank you.
What a monumental splash. What is this looks like a tidal wave, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tsunami. And this is kind of, did you warp this in?
No, it's just all done in one splash.
Wow. What are you splashing into?
The same box.
No, I mean, what is this? What's this liquid?
Okay, it's a mix of sour cream with coffee and regular milk, and nothing that you can eat after.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very tasty, but it sure makes a nice mixture. I love this up here. I love this, and it looks like you went at an angle to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a few practice, and yeah, the only thing that I don't know how to fix is the bottom of the box where you can see the white. I don't know how to make it look natural to, like.
Down here?
Yeah. So I don't see the white.
Well, what would you see?
Just the liquid,
Oh, you could use the warp tool.
Okay.
It takes practice, but it's not like it's not going to take you a year to learn it. It's going to take you an hour. But you can actually isolate this right in here, and you can swing this right over the top of this if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, you can warp all of this back closer to the box if you want. You can do an awful lot with it. It's almost scary what you can do with it.
Okay.
Okay, but it's the warp tool, and it's in Photoshop. But that's where I would concentrate on doing it. If that's what you want to do, I don't have a problem with it because it's a box of cappuccino. But mastering the warp tool will give a whole new dimension to being able to do these splash shots, because you can bring it in front of the box a little bit if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, really nice. It looks like a big softbox above it.
Yeah.
There we go.
It was quite messy.
Yeah. I hope that came off your patio.
Yeah. I mean, I just washed it off.
Okay, good.
But then the splash, it was done very, I don't know, I was maybe about 10 centimeters away. So I focused, and then I just let it drop. I focused down, and then I just grabbed it and then let it drop. With one hand, I was pressing the trigger, and the other hand, I was doing the drop, very close.
Do you have a trigger?
Like a
remote trigger of any kind, or are you actually touching the camera?
No, I was actually touching the camera.
All right, good. Yeah. Very nice.
Right.
Well done.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Melvin. Wow, Melvin, that's very, very nice. Look at that highlight coming through the back of the beer here. So is the green, Melvin, are you shooting through from the back?
Exactly.
Okay.
I have a strobe in back of, that's just the colored cardboard from the dollar store.
Uh-huh.
And I have the strobe with barn doors in back of it to sort of mimic the bottle.
So you're wait a minute, you're shooting light through cardboard?
Yeah, exactly. I got the strobe set up pretty high, and I even have I even left the initially I was shooting through Translum
Uh-huh.
and it's still there, and I put the cardboard over it.
Okay.
So
Well, that's
the
taking a
strobe in
lot
the
of
back
light.
is set up to pretty high.
Take a lot of light to get through the cardboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it looks cool. It's got a nice texture to it. Highlights on both sides, very even. The label looks really good. I'd lighten this word logger up just a little bit. Looks like it's fading right there a little bit. And in this case, like we were talking about making the other splashes a little bit brighter, this case, your splash is a little bit darker. Since your light's coming from the back, the splash is blocking some of the light, and that's totally natural. Looks really, really good. Now, how did you get the splash?
Well, I actually shot the bottle separate.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, if you can go to yeah. So I got this little pan there and I set it centered where I had the bottle initially. And I used a tennis ball. It was about the same size as the bottom of the bottle. And I dropped the tennis ball by hand simply. I took about 10 shots to finally get one that had a nice even opening like this.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then simply took the tennis ball out.
Well, the tennis ball I took it out by messing around with colors and Photoshop and hue and saturation. The ball is actually still there, but it seems to match the back lines on it. Seems to match pretty well with the label. So,
okay,
because the pan isn't all that deep, so the balls, when I take the shot, the ball's still in the picture.
Right. That looks really good. Looks really good, sir. And your lighting is really pretty. In fact, your behind the scenes shot's kind of nice. Really clean behind the scenes shot. Look at that. All right, good. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Arnold.
Hi, Don. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I struggled with this one because
Cool bottle.
I had an original concept, which is in the comments, and I did try that for a couple of times. And when I showed one of them to Yanis, he said it doesn't work, and I tried it really hard. So last night, this is what I came up with, because everything had to be clean, everything had to be elegant, everything had to be graceful, and I wasn't able to get that with the other ones. There's another one underneath that as well. It just didn't work. I mean, I really tried in Photoshop to make everything work, and that one, it doesn't have the finesse of it.
Yeah.
And also the other one, which is much more complicated than that. It also, it was lacking something for me. It just didn't work too well.
Okay. Well, the bottle's lit beautifully in this one. Real pretty light on the bottle, catching the logo going up the side. Really nice. I love the little blue up in here. That makes it real.
Yeah, I mean there's the composite image that I used. It's there. So I was lucky with the shot, and I had to use a special liquid to make this work, because if I had just used water and food coloring, I would not get the proper viscosity that I wanted. So the secret is xanthan gum. I just added a little bit of xanthan gum,
Okay.
and it worked. I mean, this was my second drop of the night, and I did a lot more, and I got it. I mean, the concept actually, because the bottle is Nautica and it's nautical, so I was like thinking the middle of the ocean kind of thing. So this is the concept I have. It's like in the middle of the ocean, still water, and it's dropping down. So
It looks really good.
thanks.
Nicely done. Nice.
Do you think it's too still?
No. No, I don't.
Well, that's behind the scene. I just use a refrigerator bin to make it work. It's tilted actually. It's tilted forward, so the water is tilted, so I got more space behind it. And I put blue paper behind it, so to simulate the ocean. and I put foil underneath so I'll have some backlighting, indirect lighting. So you see the bottom is lighter
Yeah.
because I'm shooting through a clear container, and it's all shot with one light, just a white bounce reflecting on the right side.
Looks good. Looks really
What
good.
is what did you add to the water? I didn't quite.
Xanthan gum. I'm gonna spell it out. I'm gonna put it on the chat.
XANTHU.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never. How did you figure that one out?
It's used for soups. It's used for anything that needs a thickener instead of using cornstarch. It's because it's gluten free. So it's used everywhere. Everything we eat, when it says gum, it's xanthan gum. Right? Everything we eat.
That's out left field for me. That's great.
Xanthan gum een half teaspoon of a liter water.
Yeah. One thing, guys, if you're gonna try the xanthan gum, you cannot mix it directly with water. It has to be diluted in glycerin or oil. If you directly put it on water, it's gonna get blobs, and your water has to be warm. Can't be cold water.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Arnold. Good job.
Thanks.
Can I make one comment here?
Yeah.
I just remembered it was glycerin I used with my water to thicken it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Till Arnold said that, I couldn't bring up the word. Thank you.
Yep. That'll work. Nicely done. Luke?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Wow, that splash looks like it goes on forever.
Yes. It's a tray of 3 centimeter depth.
So what are you dropping it into? What is it?
The same bottle. The last photo, the underste, the below is the bottle I dropped. And what? It's water, flour, and xanthan gum.
Okay. This would benefit from that thing I just linked up, the frequency separation.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, you just run it and then you follow the directions and you.
Yes, I know it. I did.
This will get all really smooth against the little bit of texture that you have in the back, and just clean it up. And it's on its own layer. So if it cleans it up too much, and you say, "Well, no, I'd like a little texture back," you just lower the opacity of that layer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this looks really good, man.
Thank you.
I can't believe this thing is just. It just looks like it's a bottle shot separately. It's so clean.
The bottle is separately, but if you see the behind the scene, the last photo is the bottle I dropped it, and that's the photo.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, and you just replace that bottle with yours. Okay. All right. Good. All right. When you're lighting bottles like this for product, don't light from the front.
Yeah.
Light from the side, but not from the front.
I told him you would say something about it.
Yeah, that highlight would be a real problem for you. So, yeah, just keep. Nothing comes from camera in product photography. In beauty photography, sure, but not in product. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Patricia Keegan.
Hi.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Very subtle little movement here. And what camera did you shoot this with, Patricia?
Canon, but I've only at the moment my macro lens is in for repair, so I was using a 50mm, which is I suppose the equivalent of probably 70.
Okay. You have a behind the scenes?
Yeah, I quite struggled with this. So I have continuous lights mostly.
Okay. What was your shutter speed?
Probably not as high as it should have been. I was struggling with the amount of light.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of motion blur in here. It's just not real sharp in here. Your splash.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. No, I was going to say I had better splashes and better product shots, but I couldn't combine them in Photoshop. So I was
Okay.
having trouble warping things and moving them around and
Yeah,
whatever.
the
So
splash looks really good. It's really kind of cool looking splash here. So what we need to do is get a shot of this bottle. And the way I would do it is, it looks like to me like your light is coming from right above it. Am I right?
yes, and I was getting tons of reflections and I really didn't know what to do. And then I tried to light it from the front standing up and that was just as bad. So yeah, I just didn't know what to do.
Because this bottle this bottle isn't really dropping. This is a different shot, right? The bottle.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite similar, but I had placed it in there and then I dropped other ones.
It looks to me like you lit the bottle differently than you lit the splash. The splash has forward-facing highlights. See it right
Nice.
there? And the highlight on the bottle is to the side.
Yeah,
So
possibly. As I said,
the eye doesn't know where reality is because we know that light source. So I think what you need to do is angle your lights for your splash, shoot your bottle, and then make sure that that you haven't changed the angle of the light to the splash in the bottle. It'll look much better when you put it in. And yes, I would do that. I would shoot the bottle perfectly and then drop the bottle itself into this thing, because then all you have to do is replace the bottle with the good bottle by just dropping it over the top of the other one. You know, maybe it'll blend the edges a little bit. It should be pretty simple. All right, good.
okay. So just so would you normally light the bottle from the sides rather than
Yes.
from the front?
Yes.
Yeah, you see, I was trying to light the whole thing from on top.
Yeah. Nope. You're going to get a big old highlight right down the front here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I've been around very many combinations of trying to get this.
But remember, your light up, you know, you've got your set here and your light is above it like this, right? If you're shooting from here down like this, you know, like at a little angle, you're going to go angle of incidence, angle of reflection, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to see that. But if your lighting is above and you're shooting from here, then angle of reflection, angle of incidence, you're seeing darkness over here. You don't see that highlight. You control that highlight by the angle. If you want to see the highlight, move the softbox back to where it's there. Then you see the highlight. All of it's controlled by that angle. Okay.
Okay, that's I think where I was probably going wrong.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what I was doing.
Yeah. Lighting in that way is very fluid. It all has to do with that angle. I love your little green
swimming pool.
Yes. Yes. Josh Crandall, Starbucks double shot espresso. Man, that looks cool, Josh.
Thank you.
Hang on, guys. There's somebody coming up the walk. Hang on 1 minute. I'll be right back.
I didn't see it when I was looking. Did someone post the flour mixture on the Facebook page and I just didn't see it?
Yeah, I just did to Amy Beadle Roth. I pasted the recipe that Giannis had posted a while back.
Thank you. I'll look for it. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
And thank you, Giannis.
You're welcome, David. That's pretty easy actually to make.
We have lots of flour around.
Oh yeah. You go ahead and try it.
Have you ever done a flour shots with just dry flour and doing the powder shots?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, or just anybody. I know some people that do that kind of stuff. It can be kind of fun, but I have never tried it. It seems real messy.
I do that for my clients, for magazines. I always use flour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way to go. You can't use paint, real paint there, because the product will go waste, you know, and the client needs that.
All right, so tell me
You always use.
This fluid. What is this liquid here, Josh? Is that really coffee?
That is very cheap dollar store instant coffee.
Okay. What
I wasn't
strobe?
gonna waste good coffee.
Yeah, no, seriously. What strobes are you using? Because you really caught this thing super sharp.
All right. Well, I have one SB800, and that's it. Most of the lighting, the splash is lit with that, and then the rest of the lighting is mostly constant lights,
Okay.
like fluorescent.
Okay. Fluorescent, huh?
Yep, constant lights. Because the splash was the only thing I had to freeze. So, I mean, I have one flash and 3 constant lights, and that's it. So I have to kind of be creative with what I have to use.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's beautifully lit. See what
Thank
you
you.
did with the, and the can looks very nice too. We've got a little bit of a highlight, starting up here, which defines the can, and it's very neutral down the side. I wouldn't mind seeing this highlight coming down if it was light, a little bit lighter, but it's not necessary all the way. We can see that it's shiny just by what we've got there.
yeah, lighting that can was probably the hardest part. Trying to get those highlights on the side. I kind of like them subtle, but if you had the lights too low, like they were like headlights on the can, it was just terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing about these shiny metal cans. It's so hard because I would tell you that sometimes you're going to end up double diffusing or triple diffusing your light source, even though your light source has still got a sharp edge to it, right? You may end up triple diffusing it to get it so that it doesn't blast through, because that highlight, if it came all the way through, if it was a bright highlight like that, it'd make this hard to read.
Right.
Those metal cans are really tough.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
105, great lens.
Yeah, it is.
And how did you just, I see it hanging here. Did you just stick it down into the coffee yourself? Just like that?
I experimented with like dropping little rocks and like just dropping the can, but my cup is very small and it didn't want to stay put. So I just took the can and just pushed it down in there kind of fast and then hit the shutter and tried to time it.
How many did you do to get this?
The font, at least a couple hundred for the splash.
But when you got the splash, you knew you had it.
Oh yeah. I knew I had that splash the second the flash went off.
Yep. Nicely done, Josh.
Thank you.
Good job. And for those of you who struggled with this, you learn more by failing than you do by nailing. I think I have a new little saying here. You will learn more with dealing with the hardships of it and not getting it right than you'll learn if you just sort of luck into it the first time. So really, really great. Everybody who's doing stuff that you love out there, they've had to go through it as well. So every photographer you see online, they didn't start out They didn't start out doing it perfectly. All right, Asha, this is very cool. Is that a tomato or is that
Yes,
a tomato?
it's a tomato.
Wow, I really like I like the lighting on your look at this. We got a highlight down here, we got a highlight here. We see the edge of this all the way around. Nicely done. You know, all these edges, everything's pretty nice. So the bowl looks great. And then the tomatoes are all already down in the water, and the water's going everywhere. Now, is that one splash that we got here?
Yes, that's one splash.
Just enough of that tomato, and there's one below it too. Just enough of that tomato
Yes.
to really make us know what it is. Very cool.
Thank you.
So 2 soft boxes, one angled away,
Yeah.
one angled at, and then we've got a light behind the
Yeah.
scrim as well. And what was your exposure on this?
1/250.
All right. Oh, I see it right up here, 11 at 250. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Good job. What strobes are in here? These speed lights or strobes?
They are just studio lights. They're some old studio lights. So.
Oh, they're continuous.
No. They are flash.
Oh, okay.
It's called a 300D. I don't know.
All right.
It's something I inherited from someone who was shutting their studio down. So
good. Good. Yeah.
The most time it took me was for setting those lights up because I wanted it in that manner.
Yeah. These are older lights, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the older lights, you guys will everybody will notice the older lights won't freeze the drops. See the little, even at a 250th of a second, you can't freeze that water coming off of there. It's so fast. So you get those little streaks. In this particular instance, the streaks really add to it. They add to the shot because wherever you are in the picture, the streaks lead you back to the tomato. That's right to the center of the tomato. Very cool. But remember that about your strobes, okay? They will not freeze. They're old if they're older, and if they're inexpensive strobes to begin with, like the Godox makes a 300 watt second studio strobe for $100, $100. You can't expect that $100 strobe to freeze motion. I mean, that's not fair. That's expecting a
yeah, Don, I have a pair of SK300s. They won't do it.
No.
I use speed lights. I used a speed light for mine.
Yeah. Now the SD line will do it, but they're far more expensive lights. So if you need to freeze it like this, I think speed lights are the best way to go. If you're working pro photographer, let your speed lights and your other lights earn you the money to buy some better lights. The Godox or the what's it called? The Einstein is a fabulous, really short duration flash that you can use, but never ever spend your money up front buying stuff that you only do now and then. Jay Chatskull.
Hi.
Hi, Jay. What kind of leaf is that?
It's not a leaf. It's flour and water with food coloring of different sorts.
Damn, that looks like a leaf.
Yeah, you can see it that way, I suppose. Yeah. I cut it out and put it on the black background.
Okay.
The stuff I was dropping in just had no person, no personality, I must say.
Okay.
So I saw what Giannis did with his black background. I said that looks very cool. So that's what I took it from him, and at least the look of it anyway.
Did you desaturate this?
What's that?
Did you desaturate the color? Because everything looks muted. The color all looks muted.
Well, it's sort of odd. I shot the bottle separately, and it came out with a fuller color. And then I brought it in from that frame into the lifted it, brought it into this frame, but it was so much larger that I had to scale it down. And when I used the transform to scale it down, it really affected the color. It sort of broke up the color and then sort of brought it back in a less pointed way. So I'm not quite sure. I've never done that. It never happened to me before, so I never saw it.
I'm not familiar with that phenomenon. Maybe it's a bug in Photoshop.
Did you?
I don't know.
Did you save that as a smart object? Because if you do that, then you can scale it without it doing that.
Oh, really? No, I didn't, but I can.
Yeah, if you convert, like once you cut it out and you put it in there, you convert that layer to a smart object.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Smart objects escape me, but maybe I will now turn my focus to them.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool looking shot, Jay.
Well, thank you. Well, I just sort of mentioned, this is something which is, in terms of the learning curve on this, if you see the top, it's reflective, but I didn't realize that they put this plastic, clear plastic covering on it to keep it from being pilfer-proof. You make it pilfer-proof. But if you don't look at it, if you don't notice it, I finally caught on that it was there, after I took the shots. I said, okay, I'll just sort of, I'll sort of ease it out. But if I would do it again, I'd take the cover off, but I'll use it. I will try the, I'll try the smart object. That was something I was not aware of. I may have vaguely heard about it, but that's certainly something to do. Okay, cool.
Excellent. And Mildred.
Oh, the first time I did it, I shot the bottle on a white background, and it was very hard to lift off. And then I changed it and shot it on a black background, which made it a little easier, but still difficult. But anyway, that was another one of the learnings off of this.
Good. And Mildred.
Hi, Don. Hello.
Hi. That's a mighty splash from a slice of orange there.
Yeah, it was about a half a lemon, and I just threw it in there from as high as I could.
Well, you sure froze everything, froze the action beautifully. What is your light?
Speed lights.
Just speed lights?
Speed lights.
I think we could make this water look more watery. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. No, there's not a behind the scenes, so tell us how you lit it.
On the two sides. The behind the scene actually was when we did the splash. I did this when we did the messy splash.
Oh, okay.
So there's just two soft boxes,
on each side.
On each side.
And what's in the soft boxes? Speed lights or?
V1s.
Oh, V1s. All right. Yeah. Yeah. The V1s will freeze the flash. Yes, they will. Those are good lights. Nicely done. I'm going to pull it into Photoshop and play with it. All right.
Okay.
I'll show you how to show you what I'm doing. And then I've got to, that was it for the boom. For the shots, where's the grapes? Where are the grapes? I know I'm going to go back and do grapes. All right.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
This is Rainey. I know you looked at mine. I wasn't here when you brought mine up. Did you make comments on it that I could go back and review?
Yes.
Because I was late. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, we're going to grab EJ's and pull it over here. All right. So let's go into Photoshop first here, and I'll share the screen. So one of the things about shooting very transparent liquid is that the black comes through and it hides the fact that it's liquid. So we're going to use Don's uses it all the time trick to get us a little bit more looking like the water. So I'm going to say,
we don't see Photoshop.
Yeah, they don't see the Photoshop.
that is twice it hasn't done it. All right. So I'm going to hold the shift key down. I'm sorry, the option key down on a Mac, change it to overlay, fill it with overlay neutral color. That means whatever I do, it's not going to affect the color. I've got this on 8%. Now, let me make it bigger. I've got it on 8%, so it's not going to be very much. And I'm going to paint right like that, just like that, and right in here. Let me try it a little bit more, right in there, just a little bit more, right? Doesn't look like I've done much until we do that. Do you see it? We start to reveal the water a little bit. And I'm actually going to come down and reveal your orange a little bit too there. See the difference?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, we just lighten that up just a little bit. Can really make a big, big difference. Nicely done, Mildred. Hope you didn't make too big a mess.
Always make a big mess.
Now, you see, actually, you know, I say that, right? I hope you didn't really make a big mess, but y'all know I don't care, right? It's your house. You got to clean it up. Good for you. All right. The grapes. First of all, I'm going to isolate the grapes so we don't have all that water around it. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to do this right about there. I'm going to say Command J. That's all that I have exposed. I'm going to go to select subject. Let's see how good Photoshop does. Can Photoshop see the grapes? Can it see the grapes? Oh, it sees the grapes pretty well. It didn't do a real good job right there. So I'm going to have to take my magic wand, hold it there. And we got that. And I'm going to, anywhere else I've got to, okay, I'm going to hold the shift key down. Is it the shift? Yes, the shift key down and grab. Sorry, should work.
I think it's the option key.
I get the X with, I get the plus with it. Option key is the minus. And I do, well, we can do it. We can do it later. I'll show you how we do it later. All right. So I'm going to raise this up to a new layer. Okay. So in other words, what I've got now is that. So I'm going to make a copy of that right there. I'm going to go to the layer below, hit lock, fill it with black by option delete. Option delete, filled it with black. Turn the lock off. Let's turn this one off so we can see it. And now I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'll blur it up a little bit more. Yeah, just about there. Then I'm going to put the grapes back on top of it. And I'm going to take that layer, I'm going to move it down just a little bit. See it? See the shadow? Just a little bit. Now, where that black came through, well, I guess I don't really have to worry about it. No, I don't have to worry about it. We don't need a shadow in here. We can do that later. We can do it by grabbing this tool on that front layer, grabbing that tool, go in there, Command X. And we can get rid of that. There's a lot of ways to get rid of that little hole. Don't worry about it. You can figure out whatever you want to do. But we've got that, and when we add the bottom in back here, now we have a little bit of a drop shadow. Probably too much. I think everybody agrees it's too much. Now, but it's on its own layer. Remember, Photoshop isolates, modifies, and put in a layer. I can take the layer, that shadow, and I can modify it by changing it to 56%. Does it make a difference?
It looks great.
Yeah.
Why would you do with using the drop shadow choice come close to this, or is this just a much better way to go?
No, the drop shadow choice, I don't use it for this. I like it for this. Yeah, if it works for you, then use that. You can always do that, but this is the way I like to do it. It's easier for me to come into this dialog box and do opacity than to go back into the drop shadow dialog box, right? It's just a lot.
Looks great. Looks great.
Yeah, but it just adds a little dimension. As you can see, just adds a little dimension where this doesn't have that dimension, you know, of the grapes over the water. This most certainly does.
Yeah, the first one doesn't have a relationship because of the,
right.
As it falls, it would have
right
something going on, but the first one didn't. You know, so it
So
changes that dynamic.
Always fun stuff. All right, folks. Fantastic. Great shots. Everybody did a really super job. This is hard stuff, and you guys are yet just really, really killing it. Now, if by 2 o'clock today, the next one will be up live. Well, no, it won't. I'll make it live right now. I'm going to sign off and I'm going to go make it live. That would be assignment number 5. We'll go live, and you can see what assignment 5 is like, and then I'll see you up on Facebook. All right.
Don, is the recording for this going to be linked on YouTube, or is it going to be on the page where the class is?
Yeah, I'm going to put it on the page with the classes. That's what I've decided to do.
Okay.
But it'll also be at my YouTube channel in the Best of Project 52.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Have a great one.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody, really nice.
Bye.